Good morning to all of you, and once again welcome back to my channel Steam Mechanical. In this video I will be provide you the concept of throttling process. Believe me, there will be no any question out of this video. So please observe my video carefully till end. Okay, so let's go to the point of discussion. First, think that this throttling process is a highly irreversible process. Okay, highly irreversible process. Now, what is the reason? I will be discussed a few moments later. Next one is the process. This throttling process is a process in which sudden, or better than sudden, you can say a large reduction in pressure. Okay, large reduction in pressure, large reduction in pressure may obtain. So this too is very important. Okay, what now if you asked me the example of this throttling process, I can say you, listen. First one is the flow through the partially opened valve. So I think each and everyone see this. Next one is flow through very small opening. Now you tell me small opening, then I can say the orifice. Am I right? So orifice is also an example of the throttling process. The third one is the flow through a porous plug. Flow through a porous plug. And the next example is your flow through capillary tube. So these are the example of this throttling process. Next one is the characteristics of throttling process. Very important. Okay, characteristics of throttling process. Okay, now listen. First things, for this throttling process, what happened? Now the enthalpy will be remain constant. Am I right? The enthalpy will be remains constant, means you can say the H1 is equal to H2. Basically the specific enthalpy will be constant. That's why this throttling process is basically an example of isenthalpic process. Okay, so this throttling process is an example of isenthalpic process. Next one is the there is no work done and no heat interaction during this process. During this throttling process, there is no interactions of heat and no work done or no work required. And the third point is the pressure will be always reduced along the flow. Okay, pressure will be always reduced in the direction of flow. Or you can say the along the flow. Means there is no doubt pressure will be always reduced and the enthalpy will be constant, and there will be no work done, no heat interaction. So if we want to study about the effect on temperature during the throttling process, then we have to study in different cases, I mean for real gas and as well as for ideal gas. First, if I try to study about the real gas, so for real gas, what basically happen in case of a temperature? Okay, basically what happened. Now suppose I'm drawing here pipe sections. Okay, so you just observe, this is the sectional pipe and there is a valve. Okay, there is a valve and this valve is basically partially opened. So let me draw the handle of this valve. Okay, so this one is the valve and we consider this is the section 1 and this is our section 2. Okay, section 2. Now the very important characteristics of throttling process is, it is also known as isenthalpic process. Means the specific enthalpy at section 1 and section 2 is constant. Now this specific enthalpy is basically represent U1 plus P1 V1. I can write it. Similarly for section 2, U2 plus P2 V2. Now here I already told you the pressure will be always reduced. Means this P1 will be P2. There is no doubt. There will be no doubt, but we have no idea about the specific volume. So based on this specific volume, the multiplication result of P1 V1 and P2 V2 may be anything. So first, if we consider that the P1 V1 is more or greater than the P2 V2, then what will be happened? So if I want the change in internal energy U2 minus U1, then U1 will be right hand side. So P1 V1 minus P2 V2. I can write this equation. Now this U2 minus U1 represent the change in internal energy and this P1 V1 is more than the P2 V2, means this result will be ultimately a positive result. Am I right or wrong? So this positive result represent the U2 greater than U1. Am I right or wrong? Now if this U2 is greater than U1, then we also know that this internal energy is a function of temperature. Means, so we can write this temperature at section T2 is more than T1. Is it wrong or right? Let me clear first. If the P1 V1 greater than P2 V2, then this U2 minus U1 is basically positive. When this U2 minus U1 will be positive? Now when the U2 is greater than the U1, U2 and U1 both are function of temperature, means we can write that T2 is greater than T1. Means what is the representation of T2 greater than T1? The temperature will increase along the flow. Along the flow, the temperature is increased. Am I right or wrong? Now similarly, in case 2, if I consider this P2 V2 is greater than P1 V1, then simply by following the previous procedure, we can say that T1 is greater than T2, means we can say, so the temperature will reduce along the flow. Okay, temperature will be reduced along the flow. So I think this point is clear. Now this is total about the real gas. Now for ideal gas, what will be happened? For ideal gas, again come to the point that enthalpy is constant for the throttling process, and for an ideal gas the enthalpy is a function of temperature only. Am I right or wrong? Means the enthalpy is a function of temperature for an ideal gas. As the enthalpy is not changing, it is constant, means we can say the temperature is also constant. So is it clear to you that, for once again I recap all the important point. Throttling process is a highly irreversible process. The pressure will be always reduced. Specific enthalpy will be constant. there will be no work done, there will be no interactions of heat. Temperature may be increase, may be decrease, depends on the situation for real gas, but for an ideal gas always temperature will be constant because enthalpy constant, and we know for an ideal gas enthalpy is a function of temperature only. Next one, I go to the point of concept of Joule-Thomson coefficient. Okay, Joule-Thomson coefficient. Okay, Joule-Thomson coefficient. So before discuss this concept Joule-Thomson coefficient, I want to draw a diagram in between temperature and pressure. Okay, temperature and pressure. Along this x-axis I represent the pressure, along this y-axis I represent the temperature. So if you draw the curve, then it will be something like that. Okay, the curves will be something like that, and these curves basically represent a constant enthalpy curve. Okay, so my curves are not so good, please cooperate with me. So this all the curves are basically constant enthalpy curve, constant enthalpy curve, constant enthalpy curve. So here you can observe the peak point of each curve. So if I draw all the peak point of this curve with help of a imagine line, then what will be happen? I will be get a line, or you can say the curve, and this curve is basically your called the inversion curve. Getting my point? Once again I told you, along the x-axis I take pressure, along the y-axis I take temperature, and here the curves are constant enthalpy curve. If I join all the peak point of the constant enthalpy curve with help of a line, then I will be get another curve which is nothing but known as inversion curve. Now this Joule-Thomson coefficient, which is basically represented by mu, can be written as a slope of this curve. The slope of this curve means change in temperature dt by change in pressure dp at constant enthalpy. Is it clear? Now when you can write this Joule-Thomson coefficient dt by dp at constant enthalpy for a real gas, for a real gas you can write it, but for an ideal gas this Joule-Thomson coefficient will be 0. Why this Joule-Thomson coefficient will be 0 for an ideal gas? Because for an ideal gas the change in temperature is 0, because this change in temperature is 0. If I put dt as a 0, then mu will be 0. Up to now clear? This one is basically asked in so many exam. Okay, the value of Joule-Thomson coefficient when 0 for an ideal gas. What is the reason? Because for an ideal gas temperature will not be changed, so dt equal to 0 means mu is equal to 0, and when the mu will be dt by dp at constant enthalpy for a real gas. Next one, you can observe here this inversion curve basically divide this diagram in two zones. One zone is basically the heating zone, and another zone is known as a cooling zone. Now why the zone is cooling zone or heating zone, I will be discussed. Here for the throttling process pressure will be always reduced. Means if I consider, suppose my state 1 is here, then my state 2 will be something here. The state 2 will never be in this side. State 2 will be always in this side, because already we know what will be happen. Now pressure will be always reduced. Okay, so my state 2 will be something here. Let me consider something here. So there is two cases may happen. What the cases? If my state 2 is here, then with reduction in pressure the temperature is increasing. Am I right or wrong? First case is with pressure decreasing, my temperature is increasing. And when this one will be happened, now when my process is basically in the right side of the inversion curve, and what is basically happened during this process, now temperature increasing, that's why the zone which is right side of the inversion curve called a heating zone, because in this process temperature is increased with decreasing in pressure. If I consider the next one, if I consider my process, some initial state is something here, and the final state somewhere here, okay, because pressure will be reduced. So pressure will be reduced means if state 1 is this one, then my state 2 will be always the left side, because in this direction pressure will be reduced, okay, pressure will be reduced in this side. So state 2 is here, I am considering it, okay. So what you can observe, with decreasing in pressure, pressure will be decreased, there will be no doubt, okay, but with reduce in pressure, the temperature is also reduced. Am I right or wrong? Here, as the pressure is decreasing, temperature is also decreasing, because state 2 temperature is here and for state 1 temperature is here and state 2 temperature is here. So here temperature is reduced. So what we can say, as the pressure reduced, temperature reduced, means this zone is known as cooling zone. So up to now is, I think it is clear. Now, so here pressure decreasing, temperature increasing means heating zone, okay, means heating zone. Here pressure decreasing, temperature decreasing means cooling zone. Now the last concept is related to the sign of this mu. If gas is an ideal gas, obviously it is 0, but if the gas is real gas, then the mu is not equal to 0. There will be some value of mu, and what will be the value of mu? It is positive or negative. This is the next concept. Mu is positive or mu is negative. How you can say? Now listen carefully. Let first consider the heating zone. For heating zone, what you can observe? The temperature from state 1 to state 2 is increasing. Am I right or wrong? Here the state 2, here the state 1. So if I want to find out the change in temperature, this one is positive. Am I right or wrong? Suppose for heating zone, okay, for heating zone, for heating zone, this change in temperature will be positive. Am I right? Because the T2 is more than that of the T1, okay. So dt is positive, but dp is negative now, because pressure will be always reduced, so dp is negative. So if I put this positive here and this dp as a negative, then this, so here dp as a negative dt, sorry, positive dt and the negative dp, then the result will be ultimately some negative value. Am I right? So this mu negative is basically for cooling zone, okay. Similarly, for the cooling zone, what we can observe? For cooling zone, the dt, here state 1, state 2, temperature is reduced, means the dt will be negative. Similarly, dp is also negative here, because state 1 to state 2 pressure is reduced, means p2 minus p1 will be negative, so dp is negative. So ultimately if I put negative dt by negative dp, ultimate result will be positive. So is it clear? So this positive mu for heating zone. Sorry, I write the cooling zone here basically, but this cooling zone will be here, sorry for my mistake. Here the cooling zone. For cooling zone, basically mu will be positive. So here in this zone mu is positive, and for heating zone the mu will be negative. Okay, so I think the concept is clear to you. So if you get any confused about that, then please comment me. I will be reply you, don't worry about that. Okay, so I think up to now it is clear. So in this video this much only. You think that my video is helpful, then please like my video and subscribe my channel. Also share this video with your friends, and believe me, most of the questions from this throttling process is basically MCQ type questions, and one problem kind of questions, also numerical kind of questions also come. These one also I will be provide you in my next video, don't worry about that. So up to now, thank you.